Welcome back, everybody. Ooh, that was weird. Welcome back, everybody. I can't talk today, apparently. There we go. I'm Rookzer0. Today is March 26th. It is the Drawcast. I think we're on episode like 180 something. It's getting there. We're getting up there. It's pretty great. It's a free draw Friday, so there's a link in the Discord if people want to come hang out with us today. Yeah, that's it. Let's have some fun.
Okay.
Jude, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm okay. It's been kind of a rough week for me, but I'm doing okay.
It is good to hear. Nebby, welcome as well. Hope everybody's doing all right. It's been a work week for me, so I've been doing stuff around the house. But hope everybody else is doing okay. Let's see, we're gonna start off with some rugby today, because why not? That sounds like a good thing to do.
That's a good idea. I have no idea what I want to draw.
Yeah. It's free draw Friday, so draw whatever you like. I feel like I could do a comic book with rugby, but I don't know what it would be about.
His adventures in the shop.
Just do like an SCP thing, but in a magic shop.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
then have him deal with Karens every once in a while when they come in to buy stuff.
What was I? I was thinking about something. Oh man, why is his hair so flooped today? Happy Friday, Marsupials. Thank you very much. Happy Friday as well. For those of you that might have missed the Wednesday stream, YouTube was being weird, so we went over to Twitch. If you haven't checked out that Twitch yet, I highly recommend it. Only because it's where I am a lot of the time now. Still coming out with videos for YouTube, though, so don't worry about that. I'm working on a few different ones right now. But I think a lot of the live streaming is going to be over on Twitch for the foreseeable future. Next week and the week after, I'm probably going to be pretty busy. I might have a special guest star, as Mr. Lars might be coming for a visit now that vaccines are rolling out. Backstreet Boy reunion tour vaccines. I don't know how that works. I don't know the colloquialism for YouTube. What app site are you using for the collaborative doodle? We are using Aggie.io. Hashtag not sponsored. There's a link. If you join the Discord, there should be a link for the Discord down below in the general chat. You can. You're welcome to join the Aggie site. Link? I don't know how to say that. Servers, welcome. What we're drawing today? We are drawing rugby for the moment, but it is the free draw Friday, so we have not yet decided on a topic. But people are allowed to draw whatever they like. I don't know if I just coughed and then muted myself, or not. We'll find out. It has been almost 2 weeks since I had an energy drink, so I'm very proud of myself. I couldn't tell you whether or not my...
It's pretty good, considering you were addicted to them before.
Oh, yeah. Super addicted. So delicious.
I can't gamble in this chat.
What? Oh, yeah, there's no gambling in the YouTube chat.
God damn it. Fuck YouTube.
Right? That's actually a weird thing on Twitch, is that we have the community points, or whatever the hell we call them. You can gamble with them in the stream. It's fun, but also kind of weird.
It's very weird. It is very weird. I'm also at 11 digits, by the way, in Dogzo's stream.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Grief.
How many is 11? That's 9, which is million, so you're 11 trillion? 11 trillion?
Yep. In the tens of trillions.
Tens of Trillions. Yep. I used to play a lot of what was it? Adventure Capitalist on Steam. My friends and I started playing Civilizations. I think it was Civilizations. Maybe it was Heroes. Either way, we were hot seat playing Heroes. I'm pretty sure it was Heroes. I thought that was a Mimikyu Rugby. It could be. Absolutely. But so I started playing Adventure Capitalist on my off turns, which is literally just like you just click a button and sell candy bars, and you click the button again and it sells candy bars. You click the button and it sells candy bars. But it scales exponentially for your gains. So the first time you run through it, it takes you forever to get to $1 million, and then $1 billion, and then all of a sudden you're like, you start the game up, and it's like you're making 15.5 quadrupajillion dollars per second, and it's like those aren't real numbers, but they are. So, and then you eventually make enough money to start going to the moon and Mars, and then selling candy bars on Mars. It's a really interesting game, but I can't remember what type of game it is. It's like a whole bunch of the
Is it like an idle clicker or
idle
something?
clicker. Yep, that's what it is. There's a whole bunch of idle clickers, like RPGs that are the same way, but based around like fighting monsters instead of selling candy bars. But that was the first. Actually, I think first and like only one I ever actually played. But it was pretty good for off turns and hot seat games. I bought, what did I buy yesterday? I bought Wizards of Legend. So there might be another Tandem Gamers video coming out soon. For those of you that want sweet video games. I also was looking at, apparently did Monster Hunter Rise come out already? I thought...
Oh yeah, Burning is actually streaming it right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was thinking about picking that up, but I think it's only for the Switch. Is that correct?
It is only for the Switch.
Oh, that sucks.
Hi, Bri.
Bri, welcome.
Oh, Bri.
I rugby a reference to something. I assume that's supposed to say is rugby a reference to something. I don't recognize its character. King's Advisor, rugby is unique to my channel. It's something that Jonas Hips came up with. Jonas's Twitch name is Jonas Hips, which I think is pretty great. But no, he and I drew a lot of rugby when we were kind of early streaming on the. Yeah, I can't gamble. We drew a lot of rugby earlier on in the live stream, so it's just a character we came up with. He's a little goblin wearing a bugbear rug on his head, and he works for the kobold vendor, which is as creepy as it sounds. That was another character we came up with, but
I don't think you've ever drawn the kobold.
I have a sticker of him.
Vendor. Oh, you know what? You do.
And I just don't send it out to people. The kobold vendor came about because we had like a week where everybody just wanted me to draw kobolds nonstop. So, Bri, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I should probably do my push-ups for that because I should. So I'm gonna. So I'm gonna do some push-ups. For those of you who don't know, whenever I get tipped, I do push-ups because I gotta keep myself healthy. And it's a fun way to keep track of, not being dead. So I'm gonna do that.
Can I do push-ups? Cool. Still alive.
17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, it's more to the effect of one of these days I'm gonna go do push-ups and it's gonna be like super easy. I'm gonna be like, oh crap, I died. This isn't right. Exercise is good for the body. I hope so. I'd hate to be making myself less healthy with push-ups, but I'm sure it can be done.
I mean, it happened for you with yoga, so...
That's true, yeah, I did yoga, and then I had to have surgery, so that was interesting. I don't know if those two are directly related, but...
Now I have to see if I'm still #1 in your stream on Twitch.
Does those tips count as push-ups? Yeah, I did the push-ups. My stupid. I knew every time I explained this, people love to torture me, but it's fine. I'll be fine. There we go.
That wait. So does that mean that if I do this, you do push-ups?
Yeah, I have a direct button for suffrage. That's not right. To make you suffer. Do you think you'll run out of why you should plays? Probably not. I have quite a backlog for why you should plays, and there's stuff always coming out. One of the first videos I did was the Oread, which is technically an Earth Genasi. And then I did the Ifrit a while later, which is a Fire Genasi. So I still have 2 more of those. Or I could do an entire series on just Genasi, right? So while there are a limited number of races in the books, there's also all the monster manuals. I've also done a few videos that are completely like off, like the Otterfolk video. So I'm not worried about running out of content for this. Why are the dark colors better? I don't know what that means. Thank you, Marsuplus, by the way. I appreciate that. Dang it. I got a frog in my throat. Better.
That's right, I'm top dog.
What's going on here?
Probably just asked me if I had the
switch
top points. I will not gamble in your channel offline.
You don't want to use the cheaty system?
It's not cheating if it's allowed.
It's not cheating. It's all superfluous anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's fine.
It's all Electrum. It doesn't matter.
All the stuff we gamble for is Electrum, and nobody matters. Did you hear about the new official Ravenloft campaign? I haven't. Is there a controversy about the Ravenloft campaign? I heard it was supposed to be like pretty tough. The rules allow it. It can't be cheating. There was a Thor, the big buff guy, the muscle man, who was in Game of Thrones. There's apparently a big issue over the last strongman competition because he argues that the way he lifts the weights was allowed until they started the competition, and then they said it wasn't allowed, and then they just argued and yelled at each other a whole bunch. So
Brave people to yell at a man who could crush you with his pinky.
Yeah. The rules are always variable until people agree upon them. I should do like a how to draw rugby coloring book.
Oh my god.
That would be really funny.
That'd be hilarious.
But some of it is but like the funny thing is that like some of it's already like pre-colored in like terribly.
Just rugby coloring his own coloring book.
Yeah, exactly.
The rules for the coloring book on the first page say you can only color with your feet.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed to use your hands.
No, at some point.
Rugby has no hands, so you are not allowed to use yours.
What was the last one? Yeah, I didn't hear any controversy about the Ravenloft book. Made lore about Gripply, but Wizard of the Coast cut all of it out. Oh, interesting. One, I wonder why, and two, does that matter? Like, are they going to re-release it somewhere else, or did they take it out for a specific reason? Or was it just kind of an editor's choice?
They made lore of Gripply in a in a Ravenloft? Because is he talking about the Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft?
Yeah, you're talking about the Van Richten's Guide? Is that what you're talking about?
Horror themed, and I don't know
Rugby would have no
how the
horrors.
Gripply fit into the horror.
No. I have super researched this because it got on my nerves heavily. This isn't about the Ravenloft book, it's about the recent Candlekeep Mysteries book. What has happened is a writer by the name of Panzer Lion wrote for the Candlekeep Mysteries book, and he deliberately wrote a very in-depth lore and detail behind both of the races, including a good and evil faction for the Yuan-Ti and the Gripply. Being a writer of color, he deliberately avoided using some language that many people have found offensive in Wizard of the Coast past, and that he himself has argued against. When when it was sent in, he was effectively lured in under false pretenses to assume that no news is good news. So he was not informed of how heavily his writing was being altered until he saw the final product, where over 1,300 words had been cut out, and the word primitive, a word he had deliberately avoided using, was put into the writings about the Gripply and the Yuan-Ti, where there was actually reason behind everything that the evil and good factions were doing at the beginning. It was effectively watered down to evil for evil's sake.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that sucks. Unfortunately, that's something we probably shouldn't talk about on the YouTube stream, just because I like to keep things not political. If that's the case, I'll probably look into that, and if you want to talk about it after the stream, we can do that. But yeah, apparently you're talking about the Candlekeep stuff, and we'll just. Unfortunately, that's not something I really want to dive into on the channel.
I was like so confused because I was like, what the fuck does Van Richten's Guide have to do with Ravenloft?
No, but actually, Wizard of the Coast did advertise a group. I forget. I think it's the Black Dice Society or something like that. That's going to be doing something.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to just cut out that for a second. 1 minute here. So, I just, this is a very sensitive topic that I don't think is appropriate to talk about during the live stream. And since no one can hear you guys, you're basically just yelling in my ear while I sit in silence on the YouTube stream. So, if that's something that you do want to talk about, like I said, we can talk about it after the stream. That's fine. But for right now, I want to get back to the YouTube chat. And Nebby was asking whether or not Rugby has armholes. He does not, because technically he is just he's wearing a rug. So it doesn't have sleeves, doesn't have armholes. Yeah. Can you imagine Rugby killing and skinning a bugbear? I don't know if Rugby is the one that took out the bugbear. I think it was just a rug, and that's why he found it and thought it looked cool. And he started wearing it. So, thanks a lot. I'm sorry about that, but I Rule 1, no politics. Rule 2, no arguing. Both of those are very... Why can't I talk today?
Uh-oh.
I swear, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, so...
Is it all the yelling from our heroes yesterday?
It could have been. We played a little bit of Heroes of the Storm yesterday with the Discord group, and oh boy, did I get sassy. It was fun.
I saw that. I didn't join the chat because I have never played that game.
That's pretty good.
To be fair, you never once were like, fuck this game, I hate this game, why did I download it?
No,
so that's a better sign.
I was trying to be real chill about it. Turns out Cryptic Kraken, pretty solid, pretty good Anubarak player. If you haven't checked out Cryptic Krakens, I said it right the time I tried to say it wrong. Cryptic Krakens is what I said, which I thought was pretty funny. Go check out his YouTube channel. Cryptic Kraken doesn't have a YouTube channel; it's a Twitch channel, and we can't shout out here because YouTube's stupid like that. No offense, YouTube, except fix it. All the offense. But if you sold one, it wouldn't have armholes? I think I would have to. If I ever made like a Rugby Snuggie, it would have to have armholes, I think. Then again, we could just make it a ruggy, like a ruggy. Oh my god.
Does Rook need to use the sleep?
Maybe I do need energy drinks. Maybe I'm in the wrong. I would
Just
love
exhausted.
to figure out how to make a Rugby hoodie.
Why don't you just make like a poncho? That way then it doesn't
You
have
could.
armholes, but people can still like,
We could
use
just
it.
put like a little slit right here, and then just make it like a rain poncho. That could be fun. Except then it looks like he's just got really tall pants. He's just got like... He's just...
What's wrong with that?
Considering the length of the legs you give him sometimes, yeah.
I want... The things
It's
I
like,
want to do, which I said I would never do. I said I would never draw Rugby with arms. Just as a character choice. Just like Mickey Mouse's ears don't curve. Rugby just doesn't show his arms off.
So, I feel like there was a very specific scene, and I think Phineas and Ferb, where everyone knows what Ferb looks like. He just pulls up his pants, and his legs are like stupid long. It's like, yeah, it's like that. You just pull up the rug, and it's like, 2% torso, 30% head, 68% leg.
I would love to do like a one of those, draw the skeleton of the character. And I'm sorry, whoever's drawing here, I don't want to encroach on you. I will definitely erase this for you.
Oh, sorry, I can move that.
No, that's fine. You have the space. It's totally yours. But yeah, it would be fun to do like a skeleton, internal skeleton for Rugby. Where it's just like, maybe that's what I'll do today. But so, anyways, what I was saying was I'm not sure if I have to draw the skeleton arms or not. If I draw a skeletal Rugby, is that breaking my rule of not drawing Rugby arms? If I'm only drawing the bones. I imagine that, like, well, when did Chihuahuas start becoming a thing, and little, like, French bulldogs?
I'm not sure about Chihuahuas specifically, but French bulldogs date back to British kennel clubs in...
So, like,
when was eugenics? Eugenics was a big thing. It was 1930s?
Oh, as late as the 1930s? Okay, well, I was going to say, if you ever found, like, a French bulldog skull, I would bet a lot of people would think that was a goblin.
It's like that. It's like that theory about how because of the way elephant skulls look, that's where the myth of the Cyclops came from.
Yep.
People found like elephant or mammoth skulls and just said, oh, there's like a giant gaping hole in the middle where their trunk would be. That's where their eye was.
I googled Ferb's legs, never again. You should look up what Phineas and Ferb look like from the front. That's really funny. That was in one of the movies, I think. Yeah, Magefoot.
Oh my god, Phineas from the front is an absolute issue.
Maybe the skeleton lost his arms. No,
Bri on top of things.
That's why Rugby doesn't mind. That's why Rugby doesn't mind having his arms covered. It's just like boneless, like that once. I think it was from Harry Potter. Just in one scene, Lockhart tries to heal the bones in Harry's arm after he breaks them. Nope, just take them out.
Yeah, 1800s apparently for French bulldogs. So yeah, I bet some goblin designs have definitely come from bulldog skulls. Apparently this is what Rugby's skull looks like. Which I'm totally fine with.
I love it. I mean, it feels very goblin. I'd say it's appropriate.
I think, Nebby, you're right on the right track. Rugby can definitely cast Mage Hand. That's canon, for sure. So
It comes with the rug.
I don't know. Does he just not show people his hands? Maybe he's like Popeye and he's just got like super beefy arms.
Maybe he uses his ears.
Maybe he's like a Verguli. And he just
That's mildly cursed.
Baneri from Pokemon. I think that was the thing.
What's up with my lines today? First off, I'm sitting funny because no one's making me check my posture.
That would be a problem on Twitch. I'm just saying. It's because you're not streaming on Twitch.
I've been cursed by the YouTube crap. I think you removed the bones. Your bones are noodles is terrifying. What? I still like the idea that Rugby's super tall, and he's just like sitting like this all the time. Inside the bugbear suit.
So penguin bases, because if you know the deal with penguins, it's horrifying. Or owls. birds just have really weird skeletal structure, and I do not like it.
I still think one of my favorite pictures I've seen from the Museum of Natural History is the fat T-Rex. Fat Susie the T-Rex. I think it's Susie.
Fat Sue? Are you talking Sue?
It is Sue.
Sue, yeah.
Fat Susie sounds pretty good too, though. It's like a little Debbie. It's like a little Debbie, but.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
Look
No,
up. Find
this
someone.
is
Find me
gonna
that
be-
picture.
I take that mildly personal because I live in Chicago.
What I'm about to say is going to be, you know, when people say how much you want to bet, but they don't mean how much, like an actual bet. Yeah, how much you want to bet that when I try and send this picture because I downloaded it from Google instead of like Google Chrome, it's just gonna send as a file, and you're not even gonna be able to see it, and I'm gonna have to delete it.
The link, or did you save the picture?
I saved the picture.
Well,
It
then,
just
yeah,
doesn't
of course
like
it's gonna
me.
send the picture. Why, that's how that works.
Wait for it. Oh, there we go. Okay, for once it didn't hate me. But look, they have knees.
Yeah.
That's a penguin.
Yeah.
Knees just hidden in.
Yeah.
Yeah. All birds do.
I remember.
Is this the T-Rex picture you're talking about?
That's a redrawn of it, but it's pretty good. That's pretty good. There's a sketch, like a. Let me see if I can find it. Owls' necks are super long, right? Yeah, owls' necks are terrifying.
They have twice as many vertebrae. Most birds have twice as many neck vertebrae
T-Rex is
as
prehistoric
mammals.
Pikachu. That's great. Sorry, what was that? Say it again.
Most birds have twice as many vertebrae in their necks as mammals.
That was another related to the dinosaur topic. That was one of my favorite images I think I've seen. It was a picture of a plesiosaur, I believe, and you know they were underwater dinosaurs, and it was like, you know, based on what penguin skeletons look like, what if plesiosaurs were just big skeletons? I mean, big penguins, and it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's a fluffy T-Rex, and I love it.
I love that picture so much. That is perfection. That is
think
10 out of 10.
I actually got to
Amazing.
see her for the first. I got to see her for the first time in like over a decade, right before the pandemic happened. Because I went to the Field Museum for the first time in
Yeah.
forever, and it was really really cool because where she is, they actually have like a light display presentation thing where they actually would highlight areas of the bones where they like found out different things, so that like one the holes in her jaw were not from like any. She didn't like get into a fight with a carnivore that like with another dinosaur that like bit her on the jaw. The holes that were there were actually because she had like some kind of like rotten meat or something, and so it created like an infection in her jaw that then created holes. And at like some point, I think it was like one of her knees or something, like didn't heal quite right.
Okay.
And she was actually quite old. Yeah, she was actually quite old too. So
how did they deal with Harry Dresden stealing the skull? That's what I want to know. Because I assume that all happened. And every piece of nonfiction I read every piece of fiction I read, I assume actually happened. People are just writing a book to cover it up.
Yeah.
It's a good question. I love that she actually has her own Twitter account, and it's fucking hilarious.
See, Rook, what they probably did is they
Neck
probably
muscles.
just replaced it. I know for a fact that they have like plaster casts that they can take molds from because Adam Savage has a copy.
Yeah, I think I don't know if the Field Museum actually has her real bones on display. I think they're molds. I think your real bones.
Oh yeah, I pretty much guarantee.
Yeah. I'm super into that kind of stuff. It was actually something I looked at in college, was possibly trying to get into designing those kind of exhibits. That was something I was really interested in. And I just kind of moved away from it because I did that digitally, and then I was like, this isn't actually as fun as I thought it would be. So I really like the actual physical versions of that stuff is really fun. This is the
Yeah.
weirdest
I-
skull I think I've drawn in a long time. I'm gonna have to make a model of this. Sell rugby skulls.
I know for a fact that it's actually not the thing. One, because they keep the real skull in a separate display
Okay.
in her exhibition specifically because it weighs so fucking much. And two, I believe Solo in like 2018, 2019, they made a new suite for the basically like the dinosaurs and stuff, and she got put in like her own separate area. And if I remember correctly, they actually made the model smaller, I think.
Okay. Interesting.
Or
I
no,
wonder
no,
why
no,
they do that.
no. Either that or they made the exhibit smaller. I can't remember.
What would rugby's class be? Bones on display are not the realest bones. It's planes we see from molten replicas. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. What would rugby's class be? That's interesting. That's an interesting question. I haven't thought about it too much. I kind of want to keep it
I
secret.
feel like we've discussed it a couple times.
Yeah,
and
we've
thrown out a
discussed it, but
couple
I've never
ideas.
chosen. I've never actually said, like, because he can cast Mage Hand, so that's one thing. But,
There's a lot of ways to be able to cast spells inherently.
yep. Plus, we don't know if he's using a wand, or if he's magically enchanted, or if he is, like...
Maybe it's just the rug. Maybe he's a warlock and the rug is the patron.
Bugbear's controlling him.
I would love it if the rug was enchanted to be able to fly.
Like Doctor Strange's cloak.
That could be
Yeah, but I
interesting.
I was thinking
The rug is
specifically as a Critical Role reference, but yeah.
the rug
fighting a rug!
is it's like the one scene, I'm just imagining the one scene in Doctor Strange where he's like trying to run to grab something and the cape is just dragging him back trying to show him something else, and it's like
Yep, that's good to see.
just that but rugby.
You could take the magic adept feat and not multi-class in other classes. That's definitely true. That is definitely true. There's a lot of things we've talked about with rugby, especially like, I mean, he could just be an NPC, right? An NPC that knows some magic. I like rugby not having a lot of lore, because then people can kind of just do whatever they want with him. But we've seen him with a barbarian hat and a wizard hat, and I think that's it. So he's probably like a barbarian wizard. The rug is enchanted with an illusion to his arms. That's the thing. He actually does have arms. He's just made his arms invisible with the rug. That way, he just walks up and punches people in the face. What happened?
Wait. He doesn't cast a mage hand. It's just that part of the illusion makes his regular arms look like mage hand.
Yep.
Just the arm is invisible. The hand is not.
Ooh, that's even weirder than if he's got like.
He Raymans it.
I was thinking.
That's part of the illusion of the cloak. It just looks like Rayman. The mage hand thing of not being able to lift.
From
The mage hand thing of not being able to lift more than a certain weight is just no strength in the muscles.
Wait, you were thinking of the Phantom limb from what?
From the Venture Brothers.
Oh, oh no.
He's just a torso, and his arms and legs are invisible.
No.
Just glide by like a ghost, just no legs, no nothing, just float.
See, King's starting to get it. He's talking about gnome hat. That was the point of the kobold vendor, is that the kobold vendor was an actual tall goblin who wore and makes things out of kobolds, like leather armor. I think part of that came around from playing Monster Hunter all the time, and I thought it would be funny if people started making leather armor out of kobolds. Once again, completely vindictively, in a moment of weakness, of being upset with drawing so many kobolds. I do love drawing kobolds, but rugby definitely spawned from a moment of spite.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, spite drawing. We're very familiar with that concept around here.
Yep. I really want to sculpt some goblin skulls now. It's gonna be fun. I jumped in and I bought a whole bunch of silicone for molding and resin yesterday. All my safety equipment. So that is in the works. Hopefully I'm going to have some videos coming out for those coming up soon.
Did you buy a respirator?
I did buy a respirator, yep. I bought one that I should be able to use for the foreseeable future. Decided to invest the money in the safety equipment and not buy like as much resin from the get-go. So it's probably smart. Probably smart. But yeah, we could definitely have a, I could see Rugby wearing a hat made out of a gnome. That's only slightly weird.
On the topic of resin, that's one of those little things that just irks me. It's like you'll watch people on TikTok or YouTube or whatever do things with resin, and they'll be like, oh, completely unguarded from everything. They won't be wearing any safety equipment. They won't even have gloves on, mixing it with like, I think I just said gloves.
A little bit. It's all right.
They won't have gloves on, mixing it like straight up with their hands. It's like, that's not smart.
Yeah. Yep. Not good.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just one of those safety freaks, but like, not.
No, you should absolutely,
Don't.
especially if you're an influencer, doing stuff like that. I definitely think that's important for you to show that like you should be dealing with resins and stuff safely. You should be dealing with those kind of things. There is a level of like, man, every time I watch Adam Savage use the bandsaw, it's just like, ah! But he's got, 40, 50 years of experience, and he knows his tools, and he talks about his safety all the time. So I know he's got it on his mind. But it still scares me.
There's still that thought.
Yeah, there's still that, like, any young person watching that I'm afraid it's going to give them too much confidence to just go at those tools. It's like, oof. Especially when it comes to, like, he has a portable jigsaw, or a reciprocate. No, what is it? It's a bandsaw, portable bandsaw, the little handheld one.
It's a wireless bandsaw.
That thing's really cool, super cool. The amount of times I see him just like grab it and push stuff through it, it's like, be safe. And so he turned one into like a tiny bandsaw, and I've seen him use that a lot more. But that's what that tool's for. And so it's like tools are dangerous, but they become exponentially more dangerous when you don't respect them. And I think for the most part, Adam Savage does respect them. Like he takes his time, but that comes from years and years of experience. And I hope people see that. I hope people see that you have to earn that kind of
familiarity.
Yeah, familiarity. I was gonna say like cavalier. That's not the right word though. He has a fluidness with his tools because of how much experience he has with them, and I would not ever recommend anybody doing things the way he does. And I'm sure if you were in his shop, he would say the same thing to you. He would be like, "Whoa, don't do that. I just saw you do that," and he would be like, crap." But yeah, that mini tabletop bandsaw.
As I say, don't do it. Not as I do.
Yeah, and that's I do that with 3D modeling too. Like I do a lot of really like fast and loose 3D modeling, but when I teach people 3D modeling, it's like, no, take your time and go slow. And they're like, but you just did this. It's like, I've been doing it for 10 years. Like, I want you to start from scratch, and if you fail, I want you to start over. like don't try to use the tricks I have because you don't understand how they work yet.
I do the same thing teaching pottery, teaching how to throw.
I don't think you're supposed to wear gloves with saws. Yeah, if you, especially with bandsaws, table saws, you shouldn't wear gloves when you're doing that because they will just get caught and pull your hand into it.
My neighbor lost 2 fingers that way.
Ugh. Yeah, avoid loose fit clothing sleeves. What was? I was watching. I think I was. Oh, what? Simon. What's her name? We just talked about it last week.
Gates.
Yeah, Gates. I think it's Simone Gates. She was doing something, and she's like, "Oh, I should probably be wearing shoes." And then she put on like flip flops, and I was like, "No, open toe shoes. You can't wear open toe shoes in the shop." I was just like, "Oh, it's funny." So many weird rules. I mean, they're totally legit rules. I have definitely
But it's like
broken some of those rules and lost some like What have I done? I almost lit my hair on fire once. That was funny.
Well,
Womp womp.
I would
Onto my
get real.
eyebrows a couple of times lighting a coup kiln.
Foof. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
God.
I've driven more people to the hospital than I care to have from a sculpture lab.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I used to get really mad at people when they would have like open food and drinks while they were painting.
Yeah.
Like,
You and I
especially
have
during
had this conversation.
especially during club time when I was like in charge of the club and we were doing painting sessions. It was like, if you're gonna drink something, like it either has to be like in a cup that's very clearly not your paint mug, or it has to be like in a fucking water bottle or Starbucks cup. I don't give a shit. Like it has to be something closed that like you're not gonna dip your paintbrush into, and you can't be eating.
I've never had anybody drink like paint thinner or anything, but I've definitely accidentally taken a sip from my ink water. That's something you only do once, and you're just like, duh.
So many artists make jokes about accidentally drinking the oil paint water, and it's like, look, I drink out of a Contigo cup that's a sealed lid.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what Sarah's talking about. Like that's the kind of thing. If you have drinks in a lab studio, it has to be a closed top so it doesn't spill, and that it's not just an open cup. Because if you're drinking out of an open cup or a mug, you're gonna drink out of your paint cup.
Either that, or you're gonna turn it into another paint cup.
Yep, I've also done that. I've also dipped my paintbrushes in my coffee. It's just like, well.
That reminds me. Okay, so does anybody else have any like minor like, I don't want to call it like issues when listening to certain people talk about like learning how to draw on things, but there's like one thing that gets on your nerves?
Druid has some.
And I wish I could draw. I can't even draw a stick figure druid. Wish I could draw like you.
Okay, so I have my own version of that. My version is the I've been drawing my whole life because, like, yeah, it's true, but also for most of your life, you were probably just drawing stick figures and not actually, like, deliberately researching anatomy and trying to figure out how to shade and do stuff and do most of those things. It's like, look, you can say you've been drawing your whole life, sure, but when did you start focusing in and looking and, like, doing research and references and actually attempting to learn how to draw?
I
Because I feel like a lot of people forget that, yeah, you have been drawing your whole life. You also have been floundering around and drawing stick figures for most of that your whole life.
Do you have people? Is the thing that makes you upset that people use that as an excuse for not being good at art? Like, what's the
No,
what's the edge case?
my
where
problem
that
is when someone will ask, "Oh, how do you get better at art?" And people will be like, "Practice," and it's like, yeah, practice is a good thing, but they'd be like, yeah, but for how long? What do I need to practice? And they'll be like, I've been drawing my whole life. No, don't do that.
I've had a few people on this channel ask me like, how long should it take me to get good at art? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm still not good at art. Like that's the thing is, learning how to practice is important. And I think that's what you're talking about. Like, when the issue I have is not I know exactly what you're talking about, and I agree with you. The issue I have is not that people ask it, but more when people say, practice. You just have to practice. It's like, well, that's not helpful. That's not helpful.
Practice
advice.
what? Like, here's what I did. When I wanted to, like, when I wanted to get good at art, I literally just sat down and scribbled stick figures in different poses for, like, straight up.
Yeah, it's a photo study.
A week straight, and that was me learning how to pose. Then I went and was like, okay, how do I actually make bodies do that? So then I went and stared at people doing poses for like forever. It's like, yeah, there is like a whole system to it, but saying like, oh, but just like discarding it like, oh, I've been drawing my whole life, I don't know the specific steps I take. Yeah, you probably do. It's like,
that's not necessarily true. Not all people who are good at art are good at teaching art. That's a completely different skill. That's one thing I've talked about with, like, if you want to go to art school, part of it is if you don't know how to learn, and then that's not an insult. That's a thing. Like, I learned how to how to learn. I learned how to study, and I learned how to teach how to do those things. And when I went to art school, so I went to art school for 10 years. I have a master's degree. Now I'm doing YouTube channels. Whop, whop, whop. Accidentally drank herbicide. Oh no, that's terrible. Bright Dingus thought it was a good idea to put his.
Yeah, when I was on the podcast, they had asked me, the typical question of like, how long have you been doing art? And I was like, well, I never say that I've been drawing my whole life, because like I have been drawing my whole life, but it was always like, I'm gonna drawing, like just to draw it, and then like as soon as I'm done drawing it, I don't think about it again, except for maybe if it's like on the fridge and I see it, right?
Sure.
So I tell them like the age at which I actually started caring about drawing, and yeah, because I feel like that is a little bit closer to probably what someone wants to know. Obviously, like
Yeah, I think
in reference to how much experience you have, I suppose.
For me, they're synonymous.
Yeah. I remember drawing a lot through elementary school. So like, but even before that, like my mother was a teacher, and so, but she was also very, very crafty. So like, I grew up playing with art supplies, with pencils and things. And then in elementary school, I just kind of checked out and just drew in sketchbooks all day, or drew in my notes, and but it wasn't good. I wasn't trying to improve, and it wasn't until high school and then into college when I was actually like, oh, you know what? How do I do this? And I started buying art books, and I started looking at stuff, like whereas Jonas, I think Jonas is a good example of not necessarily needing art school, but he had, and I wish Jonas was here to talk about it. He had a lot of feedback and help from his family, because he's an okay sized family, and they're all kind of artsy, and that's great. So he didn't necessarily need to do that, because he didn't have to be taught how to learn art inside of an academic situation. So like, even my art classes in high school, a lot of them were like, here's one thing you're going to do for a month, and then you're never going to touch it again. And so you really have to kind of decide that you like something and keep pushing at it outside of class, and a lot of people don't do that. I didn't do that. I just started playing video games instead of like, continually working with a lot of my art. So art was always an escape for me instead of something that I like to do, like as a.
I don't know what I'm drawing right now. I went from work to like poor superhero, but
the largeness of that skull in comparison to the body terrifies me.
Yeah, I'm trying to match it up, and it's not going well. Like, I don't know how rugby's body is kind of weird.
This is why we don't do a deep dive.
We don't do a deep dive of rugby. Yep.
We will thank you for
the moment
coming
you
to our
think
TED
about
Talk.
it for
We will no
about...
longer be taking questions.
Oh God!
The moment you think about it for 5 seconds, it goes from bad to worse. It's like the Cars movie.
Just full of tentacles. That's what it is. Underneath the rug, it's just tentacles all the way down.
Rugby is an eldritch creature confirmed.
He doesn't have a jaw, a bottom jaw. It's just teeth and like a rasp, and then more tentacles.
Jared, how have you been? I missed you.
It's been kind of a weird and rough week, but I'm doing good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm typing out my drinking chemicals story in chat. Should I just say it?
You can if you want. It's fine.
I'm friends with a woman who has worked as a professional artist assistant out of a bronze foundry near me.
Oh, you talked about this. Oh no.
One of the people who hired her kept a whole bunch of like gas station big gulp cups that were used for both food and chemicals for putting patina on bronze. No. And one day my friend was applying ferric chloride, and her boss took a swig.
Oof.
I remember you telling us about that. Oh no, that's right.
That's I need to know about this before this.
No,
okay.
Like They went to the hospital. Got their stomach pumped.
Oof. That could have been much worse.
Did
Yeah.
they?
I
Were
mean,
they
like,
like?
if you're expecting to drink Coca-Cola and you get a mouthful of ferric chloride, you're gonna know, like, you're gonna know pretty quickly, right? Like, so I don't think they actually swallowed
Right.
that
It's
much,
like-
if any.
That's what I was about to say.
some
How
of those
do you...
chemicals are very caustic and will burn the hell out of you.
Yeah.
I had a
I don't know. I know some really absent-minded people that probably would swallow before being like, huh,
I bet you do. Ah!
what is that
I
supposed to
don't
mean?
know. It just sounded funny in my head.
It's like, that's not an insult to me. Is
It's
it?
not,
Like, I don't
think
know.
so. Like, it's not directly related, like directed at you. It's just phrasing. I had when I was in chemistry in college, I had like a liter of hydrochloric acid. Just the stopper broke and poured all over me. Luckily, it was a very low concentration, so all it did was make all of the skin on my hands very, very itchy. Like, dried my skin out instantaneously. But oh man, that was scary. I had a moment of like, oh fuck, I'm dead, and then my instructor's like, I was like, yeah, because the stopper broke. But no long-term ramifications. Didn't have to go to the hospital. Definitely scared the hell out of me though. Safety first and third. Mike Rowe, I see you out there. Mike Rowe, if you want to come hang out with us on stream, let me know. Drawing D&D characters could be a dirty job, I suppose. I don't know.
Will say, I don't think I ever actually had any. I don't think I ever had any like other real safety issues in art school. I think the worst that I had to deal with was when I was fencing.
I have when you're fencing, that could be scary.
Because
Don't most fencing swords... Sorry?
No, go ahead.
Don't most fencing swords have, like, the round tip? Like the little whatchamacallit bump on the end?
They do, unless you're... Well, okay, if you're practicing, they do. If you are electric fencing, they don't. It's a metal button. Because
Still a
it has to...
cable you can cram into somebody's face.
Yes. But no, the issue is when you are smacking the blades against each other, there are going to be lots of tiny little metal shards along the blade.
Mm-hmm.
And I have, when I was refereeing a couple of novices, a lot of novices like to swing wildly outwards, even though that's not what you're supposed to do because it leaves you open. And what happens is, or what happened was someone swung wildly and it almost hit me. And I grabbed it, but I had to grab it with my hand that didn't have a glove on.
Oh no.
And then, of course, because they were like, oh, my foil is caught in something, so they ripped it out of my hand.
Shredded your hand, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Little bit. Like, thankfully, there's no scar or anything. But I remember screaming and being like, "Don't ever, ever swing it past the lane. Like, this is the reason. There's a reason why this is the marked lane. Yeah. Don't swing it outside of this lane." I also got stabbed in the throat once. That was great.
What?
Fencing is dangerous.
Straight up just went, what?
Someone got me, and it was I had tilted my head up, and so there was a bit of a separation between the collar of my jacket and my mask. It was just enough, and so someone got me in the throat.
That feels like a design flaw of the protective clothing.
Not supposed to look
I
up.
don't know why that feels like a design flaw.
Yeah, I had definitely tilted my head way too far up because I was trying to when when that happened, I had a bad habit of when I was lunging of tilting my head too high up to lunge. and yeah, someone got me in the throat, and I thought I was going to throw up, so I had to like go to the bathroom for a hot second. And I've also broken a saber.
That sounds
before.
impressive.
Yeah.
See,
It's-
fencing is one of those things that I've always wanted to do. It's one of those things that I've always wanted to learn, but unfortunately, I live in a place where that's not something that would be easily accessible. I'm pretty sure there's exactly one studio in my entire city, and it's very far away from where I live, so no.
Gotta do
That's
what
too
you
bad.
love.
In high school, I did Taekwondo, and I wanted to learn how to do glow staff.
Content of glow stick in my eye once. Mayo,
Yeah, I was
know
like, I
you?
saw that. I was like, that's not.
I might have accidentally done that to someone once.
Oh no!
I remember
What?
one time, I'm pretty sure. Here's the thing. I'm pretty sure that I didn't actually swallow it, but I'm pretty sure when I was just fooling around with a glow stick like an idiot, I bit down on it, and I'm pretty sure I actually did puncture it.
Yeah, my friend and
I'm
I
not-
put a glow stick on a heater once because we wanted to see what would happen.
Oh,
And
why?
and then we forgot about it because we were
Oh,
idiots.
no.
We were in high school and we wanted to see what would happen. And then all of a sudden, his little brother, who was sitting behind us while we were playing video games, just started screaming, and we're like, "What's going on?" And it had gotten so hot that it had popped and started spraying liquid all over. We were like, "Ah!"
God.
It was terrible. It was
Rip.
terrible. Yeah, I feel real bad about that.
Oh God.
Mayo, if that's you,
Yikes.
I'm sorry. I never meant for that to happen.
Also, hi. How are
Also,
you?
how you doing?
Yeah. No. Most of my I think like scariest moments I think are from fencing. Which...
I've had some. I doubt that was me. I'm doing fine. Good to hear. I've had some close moments with like power tools and stuff. And every time the kind of stuff happens, I always count myself lucky. But hopefully, yeah, like I said, I've driven a lot of people to the hospital from. I once had one of the girls trying to use a press brake as a. Or I'm sorry, she was trying to. Steel press brake meant for cutting, like cutting sheet metal. I can't remember what it's actually called, but it's basically like
Nervous.
like an inch scissor, right? Two big, huge pieces of steel with a giant lever, so you can just slowly cut your way through metal. She was trying to use that to cut through like 1/4-inch steel round bar.
Isn't it just called a shear?
It's a shear, yeah. Thank you. So she's trying to use a shear to cut this round stock, which you can do with tiny round stock, but I mean that's what bolt cutters are for. You're supposed to use bolt cutters.
Yeah.
So she's doing that, and this thing is on a huge, giant metal pole arm that she's just now has both of her hands on and is basically putting her weight in it, trying to cut this bar in half. And as soon as it does finally go, she just pulls the bar into the top of her head and knocked herself out. And I was like,
well, that's better than what could have happened.
Yeah. So she's fine.
It's like
she's fine now. But...
That's the weirdest part about so many bad situations that happen to people. It's like, yeah, but judging by what did happen, at least 50 worse things could have happened.
What's that mean? Yeah, but did you die though?
Yeah, but did you die? No. And so yeah, after watching that happen, because I was like, you probably shouldn't be doing that. And then ka-chunk, it's like, okay. That was when I was like, I think I'm gonna care a lot more about safety around this thing. And I just started, I need to be more proactive about yelling at people here.
Oh man.
Yeah, there's a common saying for making stuff that I absolutely hate, and this is exactly why I hate it. The saying is, if it's stupid but it works, then it's not stupid. It's not true.
That's not true.
If it's stupid and it works, then you're lucky.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Like gambling all?
You just don't understand what I'm trying to do. That's the thing. Like, gambling all isn't stupid. You have different objectives than I do.
Cerberus is deafened, so he can't support you in this one.
Glowing chemicals occur in lichen or fish and will glow sticks even exist? In a D&D context, if you get glow sticks in your eye, do you get better dark vision? I don't think so. Once again, that's
In
not
fact,
how
I'm pretty
eyeballs
sure
work.
I'd do the opposite.
but maybe you develop blind sense after
You now
a
have
point of
glowing
time.
eyeballs and take a negative to perception or for stealth for walking in the dark. 'Cause your eyes glow.
Enchanted glow sticks. Instead of cracking them to get light, you just eat it and you glow.
You can see things that are illuminated by your eyes glow, which give you like a 1-inch radius of light. So if you get
Actually, I'm
real
pretty
close
sure
to something, you can read in the dark. I'll give you that. If you in D&D, if you put a glow stick in your eye, you can read in the dark, but only by holding the paper up to your face.
What if you make
Only
a
D&D.
character?
Don't do that.
What if you make a character that is a glow stick to where you have to break something to glow for a little bit?
Hit their arm on the wall. Arm.
I
like
would
Deku
I would totally allow that for a hex. The Hexborn?
Hexblood?
Yeah, the Hexblood. Because you can like remove parts of your body for stuff. So it's just like, hold on a second, you just like break your own finger and shake it, and it starts glowing.
That's basically what Deku did for a bit in My Hero Academia.
right,
Was he
he did,
just
didn't he?
broke his fingers?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Are you caught up on... You're probably not caught up on manga. I don't know.
Nope.
It's...
Yes.
Um...
Yes, but let's not talk
I
about
don't mind
it.
spoilers.
Yeah, no.
I don't
I'm
watch
not... I don't
TV.
want to spoil, but... Dude.
I don't watch TV, so I don't care about spoilers. That being said, though, it probably would not be interesting for the people in Rook's YouTube
Nope.
No.
to not hear you say this.
I'm barely interested in My Hero anyway. At this point.
Let's do that.
That's the weird
Damn it,
thing.
I wish
I'm no
this
longer...
was Twitch so I could shout people out now.
Yeah, that's the thing
can't
I miss.
do that.
I miss really bad about Twitch, and something that, unfortunately, for everyone who loves the YouTube, Nebby, I don't know if you have a Twitch. There's a few other people here that I see all the time. With Twitch, we are able to kind of grow the community, and so like I can share artist stuff. We can shout out people. We can send people to their other Twitch channels. I don't think you can do that on YouTube. The best thing I can do right now is like go to someone else's live stream. So
that's the thing. You can at people in YouTube titles and YouTube descriptions.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's not what I want to do.
You can't do that. You can't do it during the stream.
You can't. It don't work like that.
And then with all the kind of Twitch is still a little bit of the Wild West because you're only dealing with Twitch, whereas YouTube I just don't think is ready for a live stream type audience, because they already have so many rules and
YouTube's
regulations
live streaming system is really odd.
I'll just say it's bad. The YouTube live streaming system is bad. And
I think I just
makes me
turned
sad.
Charlie Brown into a canary.
Turn Charlie Brown.
Oh my god.
I see it. Wait. That's pretty great.
Oh no, what's her name? Oops.
Okay, so Twitch is like the base streaming site. But do you all remember when for a little while Mixer and Beam were doing well?
Nope.
Yeah.
That was never a thing. I mean, it might have been. Not when I was.
It was
trying
good
to
for
promote.
gamers. It wasn't a thing for anybody who wasn't like doing gaming live streams. And even then, I'm gonna be 100% real with you. The moment Microsoft took over, it died violently. It was the worst crash you have ever seen.
So when I was doing Tandem Gamer stuff when Mixer was kind of doing its heyday. Is that a Dalcor down here? Who's this? Who's this over here? Let me see you.
I've just doodled 3 separate,
Let me see
very,
someone
very
doodling.
goofy looking things.
Looks
2
good. Keep going.
Dragonborn. And
Anyways.
The Hexblood is pretty versatile. Appearance-wise, you can make one look like a plant if you wanted. Yeah, that was the issue that I had to talk to Rook about for the Patreon game.
I like the Hexblood idea. I think the Hexblood.
I swear, if Microsoft does buy Discord, I think Discord might just implode like Skype.
Anyways, the issue I had with Mixer and stuff is there really wasn't a lot of how do I say this? Non-sponsored content. and the stuff that wasn't sponsored wasn't curated. So there was a lot of crap. There was a lot of crap.
Mm-hmm. You had to be, if I remember correctly, the vast majority of Mixer streams, because Mixer, once it was bought out by Microsoft, you basically had to be affiliated with Microsoft, or it like didn't recommend if you weren't followed.
Right, but
and
before
also,
that, like it was basically for niche groups and people with cult followings. So like large influencers could bring over to it, but starting a new series, it was a lot of really weird small channels, and it didn't require any stipulations to like be functional. And so it was interesting, but it didn't have the background to do it. Oh, I forgot I had a meeting. You're here from you. All right. I'm probably gonna take off here pretty quick. I got maybe like 5-10 minutes left in me, and then I have to go shopping. So I have food in the house, which would be fun. Not that I didn't have food in the house. I just have to restock. So
if I'm being 100% honest, I feel like mass corporation buyouts, stuff like Microsoft and Google taking over a lot of stuff, is just going to cause problems the more and more it happens. It's like there are some situations where it can be actually pretty good. Like, I feel like YouTube has done relatively okay under Google. It's just that problems started occurring when advertisers started having issues with people, and then that whole mess. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it's
that's an
random
oversimplification
chance.
of what happened, and I think the thing you're falling into is just kind of the overgeneralization of consolidation, because for a lot of these companies, things don't get off the ground until they get bought. A lot of video games is the same way. Like small companies will get bought out and they're like, oh, this game doesn't have the same flavor. It's like, yeah, but it's better and more people played it. So there's good and there's bad. Marsupialist, thank you. I will do some push-ups. Let's do some push-ups for that. So, I mean, definitely like large corporations buying small companies can be bad. It can be bad. But at the same time, it can also help that program work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't know. I don't think it's worth too much discussion more than that. But I mean, Discord is basically built inside of Chrome already. It's like I don't know.
Oh yeah, the app works okay on mobile, but if you're going to use it on anything other than a phone, you ought to just load it in Chrome.
Oh, that's weird. I use the app all the time. I love it.
I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that that's a thing. My computer is old. It's very old. So
now
maybe
we're
that's
getting
just
into the
me having
nitty-gritty of it.
issues.
Okay, I'm gonna do this.
But
and then I think that's it for the day. I think we're gonna call that there. There's the rugby, which I did not expect to spend all day drawing rugby, but that happens sometimes.
Sometimes it happens. I've meant to draw like multiple characters, and then I've spent just like one day trying to perfect that exact one detail that my brain did refuse to see in any other way.
Got our what's the weird things from Dead Space?
I've never played it.
Necromorphs, I think. That sounds right. Necromorph rugby.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? Invader Zim in an odd way. Like, you know how that show is built. Gigantic heads, tiny bodies.
Somewhere there's a live stream where we drew Gur and rugby. There's also Chunky Rugby, which is direct. I'll do a quick Chunky Rugby. Because this looked a lot like Gur. And so there's also Chunky Rugby.
Imagine alternate universe where Zim has Gur still, but Dib just finds rugby and just like, okay,
Chunky Rugby stickers.
Consider that a cryptid. Why not?
I thought do I not have Chunky Rugby stickers? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't send those out. Maybe I was gonna make Chunky Rugby stickers and I didn't. I will check. I think I might have some of those. I'm going to make a deliberate effort to actually play the Elder Scrolls Online, because every time I've re-downloaded the game, my brain has just shut down from having too much to do. How could I forget the rugby feathers? Although the rugby feathers might also come from being chunky rugby, because I like that T-Rex. We kind of did a deep dive. We did a weird little, like...
Are the feathers formal attire for him? Is that it?
Oh, he just sticks them in his hair, so he looks nice. Well, he sticks them in the bugbear, I guess. Bugbear hair. Chunky rugby's got more, like, googly eyes, though. I don't know why. He just looks funnier when he's googly-eyed. Googly eye and derpy. I love drawing rugby. He's fun. All right. I think that's where we're going to call it. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, I can't. Everyone go check out Burning Palace on Twitch. He's playing Monster Hunter, apparently. Go do that. And then follow the link train to the Rookzer0 Twitch channel and follow there too. feel free to gamble some Electrum if you have any, because it's not worth anything and you don't win anything for it. So, they gotta give me the earring. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm still here. I'm hanging out. That's it. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. If you haven't checked out Describe, they are helping us support the channel. There's a link for them down below. You can use Rookzer0 as a coupon code if you want to save some stuff on there. They're creating fantasy box text for great things. We'll run a little ad copy for them, and then we'll have a wonderful day. Oh, I just found a picture of a fat owlbear. That's so cute. All right. We'll check that out later. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week. Yeah. Big thank you to all of the great creators over at Describe for helping make this video possible. If you're looking to jump behind the DM screen but are worried about being at a loss for words, then check out Describe.com. Describe offers over 1,400 scenes of places. I forgot to say, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep your dice on the table, everybody. That's important. Okay, bye. Big thank you to all of the great creators over at Describe for helping make this video possible. If you're looking to jump behind the DM screen but are worried about being at a loss for words, then check out Describe.com. Describe offers over 1,400 scenes of places, monsters, and spells, and collections with dozens of new scenes being added daily, just like the boxed texts from your favorite adventure books, but designed to be read aloud and in your own campaigns. Start the adventure of a lifetime with the help of Describe's finely crafted boxed text. Spelled D-S-C-R-Y-B. All of the Describe scenes are set in a world of epic fantasy like many of your favorite RPGs. Each scene shows their subjects, whether it be place, monster, or spell, and other observation, by describing the sensory experiences. Scenes also help set the narrative tone and provide a prompt for subsequent actions and role-playing. Visit describe.com/Rookzer0. That's DSCRYB.com/Rookzer0. Use the coupon code Rookzer0 at checkout to get an additional 10% off of your monthly subscription.